Okay, so if you want some advice on reading these comics, take a break every single word because reading it through the whole way without taking breaks is painful and just leads to a bunch of yelling and screaming. Now, this comic starts off and, hey, wait a minute, what the hell is going on? What do you mean he got in contact with Tails and Silver? I don't remember that ever happening. I thought Silver was going to go find some ancient evil. What the hell's going on? And quit yelling so I could get to blow their cover. And now comes the big twist of this comic, where it turns out that Starline was actually the informant all along. Hey, wait, I just realized that was what happened in the last issue. It was there where that portal came from. I thought that was a portal. God damn it, the art. Fix the art, damn it. So yes, you get the whole twist if you thought you were going to see Ozzy, but it was actually me, Dio. And then, of course, fight scene. More talking. Honestly, why is he talking during that point in time? This has got to get obnoxious. Plus, some of the lines of dialogue in this comic should be thought bubbles, but they're not. So they're saying what they're thinking out loud. I don't get why. Ah. Gotta find something else to talk about. Okay. So anyways, while the hot battle is going on, okay, the Mecha Cell arc's finally ended, so that's good. Um, oh, come on! Not this again. No more prelates. No. Hey, wait a minute, those were actually kind of cool. Okay, bring back the prelates, but this time don't make them as crappy. Also, Rough and Tumble are obviously going to be roboticized. So, in case you're wondering, spoiler alert, they do. I don't care if I spoiled it for you. You could see it coming from a mile away with the way this scene was set up. There was absolutely no subtlety whatsoever. So after that, they captured Dr. Starline, but oh no. It turns out, this is actually where Osama bin Laden was hiding the entire time. And so, Starline convinces Sonic to run in there after Silver, and it blows up. But oh no, it turns out that Silver is still alive, and so is Sonic because Silver can shield them. But oh no, he's tired. And oh no, Sonimi moment. Oh my god, I knew it. So anyways, after all this, we finally get the ending, and it's like saying, "Hey, want to come with me, Amy?" And then it's just shipping bait. That's really all it is. It's just shipping bait. If you're asking for anything intelligent, it doesn't even feel earned though. It just kind of plays out like how a typical fan fiction would, where all of a sudden it's like they're in love. I mean, in issue number 2, though, they did play a lot about how, Sonic and Amy should be together, but they're not because Sonic is a dick or something like that. And then, I mean, even at the end of that one, you can kind of tell that Amy kind of got over Sonic's not loving her, I guess. But here, I think he's trying to basically say Sonic and Amy should be together. And I don't feel like that's really been earned because they barely interacted throughout the comic. I don't understand. But I mean, this is canon to the game, so I guess you might as well make Son Amy a canon thing while we're at it, so let's just go with that. This is so depressing. Whoa. Deja vu. Okay, so some of my thoughts from last issue stand. There's nothing new here. It's like, this has been a hard comic to talk about. Now, I've talked to people before in the past who have read the comic, and having to read it again really didn't help my opinions on this. But what other people have said about it, at least from what I've heard, is that they would rather be playing the comic than reading it. If that makes sense. In fact, I would actually say that the way the comic is set up, with the constant talking and the flat character movements, it all reminds me of Daikatana. Except Daikatana was created by John Romero, who is a talented individual who also happened to be very creative and a good person all around. Whereas IDW Sonic is written by Ian Flynn, who is an uncreative hack who happens to be an asshole. And since this is technically a successor to Archie, I might as well bring up the comparison so I know someone's going to do it at some point. It's kind of hard not to at this point. But here's a page from issue 14 of Archie. Notice how Sonic and Rotor react to learning about Tails. Look at how Tails is talking more intelligently. They show what's going to kick off the plot to this. And the plot itself for this story was pretty short, but fairly entertaining. Now look at IDW. What's going on here? Almost nothing. In fact, it skips over something. It's like, there should be a story between issue 13 and 14, but there wasn't, unless there was, it was in another comic, but I don't know. I don't know. I mean, they hinted at in issue 13, but I didn't notice that because of the art. And here, it's no different. That's the thing about these comics. They're bland. You watch my issue number 1 review, and then you go into my issue 14 review, this one, and you'll start to notice something. I get increasingly more bored as time goes on, because it's almost the same thing over and over and over again. It's not written like it was made in 4 years, it's written like it was written in a day or two. That's how it feels. I mean, Ian can say, oh, I took 4 years to make this, but you didn't. And even then, if you write something as you go along, it can still be done well. I mean, that's what the guy who writes JoJo does. But then again, he's also creative. Unlike Ian Flynn, who is creatively bankrupt. Hell, go watch Dylan Thomas, JC Pajamas, and Dumbsville's reading of IDW. They get progressively more bored as time goes on. It's just because of how the comic is written. It's just so fucking bland. And I've read other comics. I know how comics are written. This is not how you write a comic. It's just not. Also, Kyle, I know you're watching this, so tell Ian I said hi. The best analog I can come up for this would be the sequel trilogy. The comics are like the sequel trilogy. You're supposed to read them once, and then never again. You're never supposed to come back and say, hey, I like this. You come back to them, and it gets progressively worse the more you read it. Why is it that every single social justice warrior that gets into a comic book decides, oh, I want to write for a TV show, so I'm going to write this comic like a TV show, or, oh, I want to write for a video game, so I'm going to write this comic like a video game. That's what they all think. That's how they write these things. What works here works better in Forces simply because Forces is a video game. You're focusing on the gameplay. Here, I want to know more, but at the same time, it doesn't give me anything. Hell, there was more passion and care that went into Sonic's Ultimate Harem, oh my god. There's even less passion here than Sonic's Ultimate Harem, how?
Hello?
It's all filler. All of it. Again, it would work so much better if this was a video game. But it's not. It's a comic book, so write it like a damn comic book. And quit wasting my goddamn time explaining shit I already know, and not explaining shit that I need to know. Honestly, it got so boring I decided to create Key and Flinders in my spare time. What the hell was I thinking? This review is brought to you by...
Jizz Drive, the only prescription your computer needs.
Jizz Drive should not be used to store or sell
corn.